Hey guys, this is Tom with DraftManager.com, and I'm here actually for the next round of PTQs. We have the sealed PTQs starting up here, and so this will be my first sealed PTQ in quite some time. And also it'll be really the first time I've played M13, so it's going to be a little interesting. But I'm very excited to get back into the limited scene and try out a couple of these PTQs, see how it goes. With Return to Ravnica coming out soon, very excited to start drafting again, really learning some of the strategies. But in terms of M13, this is the first time that I will have played M13, so we will see you guys here for deck building in just a moment. This is one of the largest PTQs I have seen here. We have currently 670 players, so it's gonna be a long one. Okay, here we are for deck building. Once again, this is really my first look at M13, so very limited information on what actually is pretty good here. But let's take a look here. Let's see, just kind of lay it out. What I'm going to be looking for is, the creature base to begin with, to see what kind of strong creatures we have. Really quickly, just kind of piling by rarity. We've got Odric, this guy's a total beating. Magma Quake is pretty solid. And we have, let's see here, I guess Faith Mender can be okay. Oh, and Sands. Alright. And now we'll look at it once again by color. So we'll just kind of put these two aside here. So in green, we have a couple of things that are alright here, and we've got Plummet. Plummet is pretty nice to play main deck. Seeing a lot of sort of smaller creatures. We have a Vastwood Gorger, so creatures are okay. I mean, we have like one Titanic Growth. Nothing too crazy. It'd be a nice pair with red since we have the double Flinthoof Fork. And let's take a quick look at the red. We have, let's see, a Searing Spear, I like that. Volcanic Strength, which is definitely a decent sideboard card. Okay. Furnace Whelp is nice. What does this guy do? Sure. Okay. Double Turn to Slag is kind of nice. So definitely some nice removal. Not too much in terms of creatures here. We've got like a couple, but not terribly excited. Trumpet Blast might be good. Let's see, in black we have Tormented Soul, Walking Corpse, we've got Scorpion, we have Murder, which is pretty nice. Mark of the Vampire can be really good in Seal, I think. Bloodhunter Bat. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Double Liliana Shade. Got the Essence Drain, and then Rise from the Grave is still pretty good. Mind Ride is fine. Duskmantle Prowler, this guy is pretty cool. So we've got some nice 4-drops here in black. Looking into blue, not seeing too much. We've got the Archaeomancer, we do have Talrand's Invocation, which is pretty sweet. Fairy Invaders is fine. Got a Harbor Serpent. Essence Scatter and Crush are both fine, but double Hydra Surge, not too impressive. So probably not playing blue here. Yeah. In white, we do have a Pacifism. I'm actually just going to go ahead and hide the blue. Alright, let's see here. O-Ring, which is sweet. Triple Safe Passage. I got the Faith Mender. And that's kind of it for, wow, white is pretty weak. I mean, the Safe Passage is fine, but the creature base is pretty weak here. So probably, I mean, we might be splashing white for like Pacifism and O-Ring. Let's see, Chronometon is fine. Kite Sail is probably okay. Huh. This could be alright. Island, swamp, and mountain. So if we play like red-black, it's probably still fine. Tome is probably fine. And then just a random Phyrexian Hulk. So then, the one thing I forgot to mention white was we do have Odric. So Odric might be enough to play white. I don't know. I mean, the white is really weak. Magma Quake is pretty sweet. I guess we could just like splash Odric, but it's pretty. I don't know. All right, so what else do we have here? If we're gonna run red and black, gem is probably fine. How good is Flint Hoof Boar here? Flint Hoof Boar is okay. I mean, the black has some okay cards, that are a little bit later, like Rise, Murder, Mark of the Vampire. It's got some nice 4-drops. The green is green's fine. I mean, the green's not super exciting, but it's fine. I think we probably want to play red because then we've got the Magma Quake. We have, Furnace Whelp, Searing Spear. Well, how good is the red here, really? I have no idea how good this guy is. This guy looks okay. Well, we do have the Magma Quake and the double turn to Slag, which is pretty good removal. And if we're gonna play Odric, like, he's great in creature stalls. I don't know if we'll be able to build up much of a creature stall, but I mean, I guess we could like run like the Pillar Field Oxes. They're nothing amazing, but they're ugh. How badly do we want to play Odric is the real question. Like, it does also give us access to Passes and O-Ring, which are both awesome. Like, I think if we're going to play the red, we probably want to pair it with the green, because the black is pretty slow. And, I mean, like, these creatures are all fine. They're definitely just fine, but they're also on the slower end, and then the green might be a better pair because we've got the Flint Hoof Boar, since we're going to be playing red anyways, and that makes it quite a bit better. We do lose like Mark of the Vampire, Murderer, the Liliana Shades, but like Liliana Shade is pretty bad in a 3-color deck anyways. So now we're down to like red, green, white. And let's see, an island, swamp, and a mountain. So we're probably not playing the gem. I wonder how good Sands is. Huh. But we do have the Sun Petal Grove to make things a little bit easier in the Evolving Wilds. That's pretty nice. Let's see here. Ranger's Path might be okay. I mean, depends on how slow we are. So we've got 28 right here. Question is, do we want any safe passages? We could run like a Pillar Field Ox if we need to. How good is Arms Dealer? Okay. Alright, so Arms Dealer is actually fine. Reckless Brute. Reckless Brute is definitely much better in a like super aggressive deck. I'm not sure we're that aggressive. I don't know how good Mindclaw Shaman is. He seems iffy at best. So if we cut him, we probably want to run like Maybe one Plummet main deck. You know, I mean, Plummet's probably a fine sideboard card, especially just because, you know, we do have a fair amount of removal, and I don't think it's strictly necessary here. The Arms Dealer is good, like with the goblins we have. We've got, is Reckless Brute Goblin? No, okay. We don't want to be that light on creatures because if we're going to use Odric, we want to have enough creatures to do that. So now we're down to 26. I still like Tome. Tome just seems really good to me. We don't have any flyers, so I like Kite Sail. Like, Growth is probably fine. But I mean, like, we have like some nice, like, late game kind of kill spells here. I think what I might do is I might just kind of, since we've got some of this later stuff here, maybe just like cut the Phyrexian Hulk for the moment. So now we're down to 25. I have no idea how good Chronometon is. I mean, it seems fine, like especially in sealed when it's kind of slow. Sort of build it up. Let's see. Like we have a decent amount of removal. We may just want to like, I guess we could cut the growth potentially. Do I want any more Pillarfield Oxes? Don't really think so. Like Safe Passage might be good. But I think we can board into Safe Passage if we need to, if we see like a lot of, you know, removal like that. I'm not sure about the Reckless Brute. I mean, the Reckless Brute, you know, it does help us kind of with the aggressive plan. I don't know exactly how aggressive we are. Like, it gives us like a higher number of creatures, but I think that like in Seal it can be pretty bad if you're not like strictly aggressive. I think I'm going to cut the Reckless Brute here. And then like we have Volcanic Strength. This might be fine main deck just because there's probably going to be a lot of 3-color decks. I guess we can board into it. Like I'm wondering if Volcanic Strength is actually like maybe better than Growth just in the offhand that we run into, you know, some different red decks. Naturalize could be a good main deck card here. I mean, there's definitely like a lot of different enchantments we could potentially run into, or like artifacts that are pretty sweet. I guess Growth is fine. Like here we are at 24. We have an Arbor Elf to kind of speed things up a little bit. I think the creatures are fine. Might want to run 17 land here. I do kind of like our removal suite. Like I don't think we want to cut any of this stuff here. I think we want to keep the top end Gorger. Let's see what's wrong in Primodox. See good with anything we have here. Don't think so. I mean, he's a 4/4, so he's fine. If we have some smaller creatures, so he's probably okay. He doesn't really combo with anything we have. At least not that I can see. I guess like the Elvish Visionary. So if we're going to cut one more card, I don't really want it to be a creature. I mean, like Arbor Elf can like help us like speed into some of our later stuff. I suppose we could potentially just like cut the Arbor Elf. I don't know. I mean, it does help our mana though. We could also just like run 16 land and play on the draw. That's probably not terrible. I guess like I think like having like more threats is probably pretty good. Let's see. So if we run like Sun Petal Grove and Evolving Wilds, I think I'm just going to run 16 land here. Okay. 6/4/4. Let's take a look here. I mean, like all of our red spells are late that are double except for the Furnace Whelp. And like we do want a little bit more red for Furnace Whelp. I think that green is probably the most important to have the most of. especially if we're going to be running Arbor Elf, and all the green stuff is on the low end of the curve. I mean, like with 4 planes, you have access to 6 basically with this here, and that's, I think that's actually probably fine. So like maybe like 5, 5. That way we still have access to 7 forests, and yeah, I think I'm actually fine with 4, 5, 5 there. All right, and we will see you for the first round. And like in terms of cards we can bring in, like if we need to, we have access to like Safe Passage. I mean, we could potentially bring in like Rain of Blades. Volcanic Strength might be really good in the board. I thought a little bit about like Kindled Fury. I mean, Kindled Fury might be good here, but I think that, you know, for the most part, Titanic Growth is just better, and we have a decent amount of removal. And then I think Kite Sail is going to be really good in this deck here, since we have essentially no flyers. Then we can bring in like Plummet if we need to, or Naturalize. So we do have some sideboard options. But I guess the real thing is, you know, was it worth cutting the black, you know, the Murder, the Mark of the Vampire, and like the Shades, not to mention like the Prowler. So I think that we definitely had some quality black cards here, but I mean, if we were gonna run like Odric and like the red cards, which are already super late, I'd rather have the early game in green. So, and I think that, you know, the blue just wasn't strong enough. I mean, I guess we have like Fairy Invaders, and like Arcanomancer, you know, could be good with like Magma Quake or Turn Slag, you know, but I'm not sure it was good enough. What we have here, we have like Scroll Thief and Crust, Invocation are all fine, like we have Fairy Invaders. I mean, we have some stuff, but I suppose if the Essence Scatter, well, yeah, just not quite enough. But we will see you for round 1. Actually, one last change here. Let's see. I'm not sure how much I like Faith Mender. I mean, like, he can definitely, like, brick some of their guys. It's like a nice wall, but Hulk might just be better for what we want to be doing. I mean, it's a little bit slower, and it might mean we have to, like, make room for another mana here. Like, I guess Rock's Faith Mender doesn't really do much for our plan. It's just kind of a 1/5 that gets in the way. I might be crazy here, but I think I'm going to go out on a limb and just bring in Hulk instead. Like, it might be right here to definitely go to 17 land. I mean, like, we definitely have, we have some late drops here, but I think Hulk might be a little bit better, at least game 1, than just bring in, like, Faith Mender, you know, if we need to kind of slow it down a little bit and stop the beats. But I think, like, in a slow format, Hulk is probably fine. Okay.